Software updates are a major topic of discussion right across the Volkswagen Group in relation to their EVs, whether it's Volkswagen ID cars or Skoda, either the Enyaq or the Elroq. There's been a lot of heated discussion about the original cars, the first generation cars on version 3 software. Will they ever get anything beyond that? And previously what I'd been told by Skoda at the EV Lounge meetup in September 2024 was that the original cars had to stay on version 3 because they had different hardware. 2024 cars would have version 4, 2025 with more hardware changes again could support version 5, and so on and so forth. Well, that has all changed, at least in relation to the 2024 cars, because my car at the end of 2025 had to be booked into the dealer West End Skoda in Edinburgh because of a heating problem. The triple zone climate control wasn't working and they wanted to have a look at it. Now in the end it took them 2 weeks to actually get to the bottom of it with a lot of help from the factory, but they did manage to fix it. Unfortunately, they managed to break a few other things along the way, but that's the joy of software, right? Anyway, this video is all about what happened when I picked up the car, what went right, what went wrong, and what is the car now doing. Spoiler alert, my car has moved from version 4.1 to 5.4.3. Anyway, on to the video.
It's goodbye to this car. So I love the interior in this. I've said this in a few of the videos I've done about this car. This is an Elroq 60. It's been a fantastic little servant for the last couple of weeks. I have been up and down to Dundee twice. I mean, the very afternoon I picked the car up. I had to drive my son back to Dundee, and I went up there last night again. But in the first part of yesterday, I went to Glasgow and back. So, you know, this car did just over 200 miles in the one day, and I didn't have to charge it once. I did stop. I stopped at work in Glasgow, could have charged, but didn't. I stopped back here at home, could have charged, but didn't. And we had dinner when we were up in Dundee, and again there were chargers there, but there were 82 pence per kilowatt hour, so I decided not to do it. And this car covered all 200 and something miles in without any problem whatsoever, all with the one charge. So in winter it's 4 degrees and it was stormy and windy and wet yesterday. This car handled it like a boss. So if you're looking for an electric car, I can thoroughly recommend one of these, and I personally would pick this fantastic lodge interior with the light grey leather, the dark grey or black fabric, and the contrasting orange stitching, and these fantastic orange seat belts. It's very striking. Anyway, I'm going to go and pick up my own car because it's been away for 2 weeks and I want to see what they've done. Right, I'm back in my own car. Unfortunately, I can't do what I was planning to do and show you the information about the software, because the fix for the heating was largely a software update, and I think that the car is now on version 5 software. And I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you. These icons didn't used to be this colour, so that is all different, and I reckon it's 5 point whatever it is. Unfortunately, it can't show me the software because the software update has meant my primary user account has been logged off, and so I'm a guest user, and in order to set up your account you need both of your keys present. So I'm going to have to nip home and make sure I've got both keys, and then I'll register the car, and then I'll be able to film some more content and show you. Unfortunately, the car's been here for 2 weeks. It was at 51%, and I've spent so much time messing about with the car, it's dropped down to 27%. So I'm going to have to go and get the car charged up. But I'll cover more about that and the servicing when I get home. Well, the pickup of my car hasn't gone exactly to plan this morning. So I went back in, I picked the car up, all looked good. You can tell from the screen with the green icons on the home screen that the car is now on version 5 of the software, so it should be 5.4.3. I can't verify that because I need to log into my account, and unless you've got both keys you can't log into your account, which is why I guess if you take your car into the dealer for a software update they ask you to bring both keys. So I wasn't logged into the software, wasn't logged into my account. The car had gone, when I dropped off it was at 50% charge, it's now at 27,
So I decided to go around the corner to an Arnold Clark charger. They're about the cheapest public rapid chargers you'll find. And I went round there when I was reversing into the bay when I realised there's no reversing camera. The parking radar, the kind of diagram of any obstructions and the sensors was there. The camera wasn't. The camera's not working. So I'm taking it back round to West End, and they had a quick look and said, look, we're going to have to recode this car, but rather than keep you sitting here, just go home, take the Elroq, and we'll get the car sorted and we'll give you a call later. So that's where we are now. So never say never with the Elroq. I've said that was my last video with the Elroq, and here I am, still in the Elroq. But it's not a bad place to be. Anyway, more to come on this story. Right, good morning. Here we are again, West End Skoda in Edinburgh. So I tried to pick up my own car yesterday and hand back this Elroq, but there was a problem in that the software update which had been applied to fix the heating had somehow disabled the reversing camera. So I left the car with the guys yesterday. They texted me yesterday afternoon to tell me the car was ready. They'd applied further patches to it and it's all fixed. But I didn't have time to come back in yesterday. So I had the Elroq for one more day, and I have to say I am going to miss this car. It is a delight to drive, but I am looking forward to having my own car back. The 59 kilowatt hour battery in this Elroq 60 is fantastically capable. You'll have seen in particular the range test which I did, and I took the car back down to what would have been 2% and did just 210 miles. So that's pretty good. It was wet, it was windy, it was 4 degrees, so kind of the worst you're going to get, and in terms of efficiency, and the car handled it with no issues whatsoever. So it's a really great little package. So if you're in the market for one and you don't do masses of long driving, then this is probably worth looking at rather than the 85. So just look in here, there's my car just been brought round. Just looking at the efficiency one last time. The car's been at 20 degrees with aircon on, the full works this morning, and it has still managed to do, well, it was showing 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour. So cracking economy. Anyway, I'm going to go and get into my own car. Right, okay, so the big thing with the software update is that it has basically wiped my car from my Skoda app. So what I'm going to have to do is delete my car. So we're going to manage cars. I'm not sure if that's showing. Garage is empty, right, okay. So I need to add a car. So Bradley's here from West End. He's going to tell me. Enter my VIN.
This wee camera here,
and then we'll go around the front. I want to use it while using the app. Let's wipe the VIN. I'll not show the VIN on the screen, on the camera.
Perfect, now we can jump in.
Then we activate the car. Right, we're going to jump in the car. You want to jump in the driver's seat and do the stuff? Alright, okay. Right, so here we are in the car. Right, Bradley's going to do all the hard work.
So I can kind of tell that you've been kicked off on your phone, and that's why it's presenting that when you first come in.
Let's put the ignition on.
There we go, and continue. The best part about the Enyaq, you just get to scan a wee code. So you go back to the app there.
Yep.
Continue, and it's going to bring a camera up. That's the one. There you go.
There we go. Confirm the login.
As soon as you click confirm there, pulls through onto here, and it's done. It's quite a straightforward process in the Enyaqs.
Perfect.
Some of the ones it's not got a sat nav, you need to put a wee code in and everything, type of code in from the phone.
Oh, for the petrol cars and stuff, yeah.
But that will go through perfect, and then you pop the wee back arrow there.
I'm going to go back up onto there.
And then you've got it back in the car, and it should all pull through.
Yeah, it's wiped out the old car that was there.
And then you
fantastic. Yeah, we'll share our location data.
There you are.
Bingo.
Puts you back in.
Fantastic.
Make sure you've got a primary user. It's pulled you through.
Yep, there's my.
It's not asking for a primary user. That's okay.
Yeah,
that's you.
That's us. And I think this must be. This is what I couldn't check yesterday. This must be on 4 point. What is it? 5. Sorry, 4 point. So it's 5.4.3. Right, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, so that is the car all
to date, but what it's got now is app updates available. So let's do app updates, 6 system updates. I will install all those now. That should be reasonably quick, hopefully. I'm going to turn the heating down because, yeah, clearly updating software takes a bit of time and a bit of power, because when the car was dropped off, it was sitting at 51%. And if we go in here, you can see now it's 22, and even yesterday it was 27. So I'm going to have to go and get a charge around the corner. So I'm going to nip round to Arnold Clark, where there are cheapest chargers, and plug it in there for 10 minutes or so, and then I'm going to get on the way. Obviously I'm going to have to set everything up again, all my favourites and so on the screen. Everything's completely reset, and I'm even going to have to link my new devices, or not my new devices, my existing devices. So it's all basically reset as though it was a brand new car. And indeed, in many ways, it will be, because this software is going to be much, much different. Just thought before I would head off I would do one check. Not that I disbelieve the guys at West End, because they told me it was fixed. But there we have the reversing camera and even the washer all working again. And another quick tip for you, I'm going to go and charge the car round at Arnold Clark, and because I use the Octopus Electroverse card, I'll get a discount there. It's 51 pence per kilowatt hour, which is probably about as cheap as you're going to get. I think even Tesla are 57. So Arnold Clark, a great place to charge and use Electroverse. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm at Arnold Clark in Edinburgh, and I haven't actually started optimizing the battery. Just the car's cold. It's 6 degrees this morning, so 78 kilowatts is what it says, because it's down at 21%. I could maximize it to 114, but frankly I'm not that bothered. I need to sit and set the car up, so I might as well charge the car while I'm doing that and show you a little bit of a tour around what's new in 5.4.3. So let's get out and charge the car. First things first, you need to obviously open up the CCS port. I'm going to tap my roaming or RFID card, so I'm going to tap the screen there. Okay, it says 55, but I know that Electroverse is 51. Plug that in there. Oh, now it wants me to authenticate again. That was obviously just to, I don't know, unlock the charger. Right, one of the Arnold Clark team came across and actually showed me that where you tap your RFID card, you can see there's a sticker here says tap roaming or RFID card here. This is not where you tap it. You actually tap it on the payment terminal. So when you tap it on the payment terminal, as you can see, the charging starts. So it's charging away at 83 kilowatts. I'm going to jump in the car and get version 5.4.3 all set up. So the biggest single advance, in my opinion, that's brought about by the 5.4.3 software is something I asked Skoda about back in September of 2024, and that is the latest cars, the newest cars, have an ability to remote lock and unlock. My car didn't have it, and I asked if that would be possible via a software update, and they said they weren't sure. They were going to try, they hoped it would be possible, but they couldn't promise. Well, here we are, 5.4.3. If I press that button there, use my ID to verify my biometric ID, the car has now locked. And you can see over there, the mirrors are folded in, that car is locked. It's not shown on the app yet, that's going to take a second. There we are. Fantastic. And these chargers are really good. You can see, you can either scan on a QR code on there and watch this screen on your mobile, or you can see as you go along here, 39%, We've added 15.7, it's rising all the time, and then the price is going up there as well. I'm paying slightly less than that because I'm using Electroverse, but that's a really good guide. So that's the car at 40%, that's enough for me. I'm going to stop it there. The car is stopped. I can scan for a receipt, and you can use that for your expenses if you're on a business trip or anything like that. So really good, cracking service here. There are 8 of these bays. You can pre-book them and reserve them on the Arnold Clark app, or there's a number of them are set up for pay as you go, like this one. So it's a cracking place. Like I say, the staff were on hand and they came across and gave me a helping hand to get going. So you can't ask for more than that. I'm going to go through the setup of this car on my own a little while later on, get everything set up the way I want it to, but there are many subtle changes behind the scenes, and without having the version 4 car here to sit and check, or screenshots from my old car, it's really hard to know what has changed. But this top menu up here, like I say, there are shortcuts, so I can add shortcuts the same as before, but if you scroll all the way to the end, there's a new one here. I can, start battery heating, but this one here, many people complain about the speed warning. I have never had an issue with it, but I know that when I was in the Netherlands, the car seemed to be totally messing up the speed warning. So if you want to be able to turn that on or off, you can now add that as a shortcut. I know that will come as a very welcome change for lots of people. I'm not going to have that though. I personally have never had an issue. So what I'm going to do is put on the top menu there the charging menu, because that's what I want. In fact, what I might do actually is just have start battery heating. Yeah, that's probably the best one to have. And other than that, I will configure this all later on to my particular needs, wants, wishes and so on. Right, I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. I'll do more on this later on.